And Prince Harry reportedly phoned King Charles yesterday to wish his dad a happy 75th birthday. And could it be, though, the start of a shock reconciliation? The Telegraph is reporting that father and son have reached a turning point. They are to speak again next week. The King is also believed to have chatted with Meghan, believe it or not, the Duchess of Sussex. But royal biographer and journalist Angela Levin joins me now. And Angela, I think you've got a thing or two to say about this in an important update.
Yes, I don't actually believe that he rang. One reason is that King Charles has his day very carefully worked out, and he doesn't just take phone calls that happen by chance. You can't ring him directly because he doesn't have a mobile, and it would have gone through various aides. I don't believe it as well because he would have protected himself. If you're going to have a birthday and a lovely time, you don't want Harry ringing you and started moaning and groaning and attacking you and saying you've got to apologise to Meghan. And I don't think you can turn from all the nasty, hateful things that he said in his book, on TV, and suddenly Mr. Nice Guy, and Meghan talking to him as Mrs. Nice Guy. I just don't think it... I don't think it happened. But we'll wait and see, because there have been other occasions when Harry has said he's wrong or he's been somewhere and taken a child, and that's not been true. So I think we wait. I'm not 100% sure, but it doesn't fit in at all.
So you really just straightforwardly do not believe that Prince Harry called his dad on his birthday, then?
I don't believe that, and I don't believe that that he would have been spoken to, even if he had, because he would upset the whole day.
Apparently he spoke to Meghan as well.
Yeah, come on. Meghan can't stand this country. She hates the royal family. Why would she suddenly want to talk? Unless they've got a big plan there. They need to make money and they want to sell a story about their talking, or they want to help him to give them a home, all those things. I'm afraid to be very cynical, but this is the pattern he's done. Well,
now, this moves us on nicely to our next story, and you've really been getting your nose into this one, OK? So explosive extracts from an upcoming book, Endgame, by royal journalist Omid Scobie, remember him, have been released today, and Scobie has lashed out at the royal family, claiming that Harry and Meghan were left in the dark over the Queen's death. Angela, here's an extract.
When the plane started to descend, I saw that my phone lit up. It was a message from Meg.
Call me when you get this.
I looked at the BBC website. My grandmother had died. My father was king.
OK. Do you really believe those claims?
No. The thing is that he started having a huge row with either his brother or his father to get Meghan to go up and see the late Queen up in Scotland. And they didn't want any women there, and Catherine didn't go, so it wasn't a spitefulness on Meghan. And he missed the plane that was taking them all up because he was arguing because he didn't want to leave Meghan behind. And this thing about not knowing anything isn't true, because the royal family were told, just as they were about her husband, that he was passing away, that she was very ill. You could see it anyway. If you looked at her, you could see she was, poor woman, was shrivelling and in pain.
Yeah.
And you can't tell somebody exactly when someone is going to die. None of us know that. But he's just looking for reasons to moan again and again and again. He said this years ago, and is still now letting it come out again in another book and another moan. It's too terrible. I can just like to tell you a couple of things there. I mean, you know, that he and Meghan in the dark, that was one. But this is what Scobie said. The family is ignoring its internal fractures at its own peril. That's very unpleasant. And it's also Harry's thing, because he thinks that he and Meghan can run a much better monarchy, much more modern than there has been. So this nasty thing fractures at its own peril. I think the monarchy is doing very well at the moment. And yet, Scobie says, heir to the throne William has prioritised his loyalty to the monarchy even quietly cooperating with the UK press to undermine Harry. Now, first, why shouldn't he prioritise his loyalty?
Yeah.
That's what he is. He's heir to the throne. He's trying to his father.
Exactly.
No. So that's very nasty.
You know, one of the reasons why I'm very sceptical about what Harry says is because we were all in this newsroom on that unbelievably depressing day that our late Queen passed away. And if we're being honest, we knew a couple of hours before it's officially announced. I think pretty much most journalists, people working in TV, were getting the black suits on a couple of hours before they went on telly wearing them and announced it. So the idea that Harry found out by looking at BBC News, I find that incredibly hard to believe. We've got less than a minute. Can you summarise quickly, Angela, what's going on with the Invictus Games? Because it's in trouble, isn't it, financially?
Yeah, the Invictus Games is not going to have any money. They are concerned about Harry and Meghan charging the journey, the protection and all the things that they want. Meghan likes a room repainted and all that sort of thing.
OK.
They're more than 300 million in the red.
OK. Right, interesting stuff. A spokesperson on behalf of the Invictus Games has said there are no budgetary issues relating to Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025 and the organisation is on track to meet its revenue, sponsorship and fundraising targets. Well, that's interesting. Certainly not the view of Angela Levin or several other people doing the reports at the moment. Angela, thank you. Always a treat. That was royal biographer and journalist Angela Levin.